All right, customer just dropped his Sportsman 850 off to me. Basically, I don't know what this is for. So you got speakers or something going on there? I'm surprised that hasn't melted. I'll secure that up for him. But he said he just let his father-in-law borrow it, and he broke the winch switch. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it. I guess this thing is stuck on because that thing is tighter than heck. So I'm gonna see if I can put this in free spool right now. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I think that thing is jammed tight. Hope we didn't destroy it. But that is the project for today. So let's see if we can get this figured out. He says he thinks it's stuck on. Yeah, like it feels like it's kind of broken. So let's unscrew that and see what's inside there. All right, let's take this top switch off. It's the one he brought. It's just a universal one. So let's see if this one will work. I don't see why it shouldn't, but kind of have to play it by ear here. I don't know. I don't know if the switch is bad. It's stuck in the on position. I don't know if we didn't fry it. Battery up front somewhere. Where is the battery? The battery. The battery. This is why I hate Polaris, is they do some dumb ass shit. Like, come on. I see all these wires. I wonder if the battery's under this thing. Drain plug, drain plug, drain plug. Kind of silly. All this just to get to the battery? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Ridiculous. Stupid. Stupid ass Polaris stuff. All right. What has he got? These other wires too. Accessories. That's not good. I'm gonna fry something out with that. I need to take the battery off just to make sure nothing's gonna go wrong here. I mean, all right, it's definitely stuck forward, so I need to trace this wire down to wherever it goes. Oh, it's going right here. Oh, that's fucking easy. All right, so this is the winch right here. Bring you guys over here. That way I can get my fan on me a little bit better. So this wire right here is for the winch. Let me get my fan going over here. So this is the connector for the winch, I do believe. So we'll go ahead and check that again. Let's make sure. Yeah, that was definitely the winch cable. So I'm gonna cut that zip tie off. And just double check. Yep, that is it. So this should be an easy fix because I can basically just run this wire and tap it into here and call it good. Just make sure this is the 2-wire programmer there. And then that'll have to come off the bracket. So let's go ahead and just wire this one in. It's gonna be a real easy fix, guys, because I'm just gonna go ahead and splice it and call it good. I don't think I can. Has this got 3 wires? Why has this got 3 wires? That one's only got 2. In, out, in, out. Oh, that's got 3 as well. So where's the other one going? So you got the black and green. What is the red for? Where does the red go? So I'll probably need to take this off. Looks like it Torx. Got a Torx there. That should do that. I'll go ahead and get this on my speed gun here. It'll just go quicker. I hate having to deal with all this bolts and crap. It's just silly. So I charged them $100 to do this. Shouldn't take me long at all. I'll move you guys over here so you're out of the wind. I don't know what that's for. Headlight adjustment, maybe? So I think that'll be enough right there. So we'll just go ahead and pull this through. As much as I can. Sometimes gotta deal with other bullshit like a wiring harness stuck in there. Is there a wire going somewhere else? Shouldn't be. Yeah, that red wire's going somewhere else. Where's the red wire going? Where is that red wire going? So I'm going to take that off too. All right, get that out of the way. All right, so the red wire is just going right here, I do believe. Yeah. So that's an easy connector right there. We'll just pull this through, get that off of there, and then we'll just splice the new wire on. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And hopefully he didn't, because that thing is jammed up tight. Hopefully he didn't fry anything. Let's check these fluids here. What is this? The brake fluid's dry. What is this? It's .4. That one. Yeah, they're both dry. What is this? Use Polaris ADC fluid for, what is ADC? I don't know what ADC is. I'll have to research that, find out what's going on with that. Brake fluid I got, so no issue there. What the heck is going on out there? Neighbor's got some pavers. That looks like a hassle. All right, what do we got up here? Allen's? Yeah. It's gonna be a quick, easy fix, guys. Hopefully. Just temporarily sear that back in there just so it doesn't fall apart. And then we'll get this new one on. Just make sure it all goes well and works. And then we'll button this thing back up. So. This is the new one. How's this thing even mounts with this stuff? Hey, I think these mounts are a little bit different. Yeah, this is going to be a different bracket. Will this bracket fit on this new one? Yeah, it should fit. I'm just going to go ahead and use the OEM bracket here, because it'll just work better. That was on this way, so that would need to go on this way. Oh yeah, that's good. Do they use different bolts in there? Yeah, they have some silver ones. I'll just go ahead and use these factory ones. Hopefully they thread in. It's going to be my strong suspicion that they're not going to thread in, but we'll find out here. I would really like to use the original clamps, but I don't think that's going to be, or the connector, but I don't think that's going to be feasible. I think I'll just have to splice it. Will these fit in there? I wonder if I can remove those. No. So I don't think these are going to work in that. That one seems to work, but no, they seem bigger. Alright, so we're going to have to go ahead and use the supplied hardware and the 2 washers they give us. Really kind of hoping just to use the original black screws, but you win some, you lose some, right? All right, we'll go ahead and let's put these old screws back in this switch. So I'm just gonna hook this up so I know that it works. Oh, what the heck? Oh, those just fall out. All right, so set those aside. Red wire is gonna go in here. So I'm gonna temporarily hook this up just to kind of figure out which goes where. And so I know this goes in here. So we'll leave that in there. Let's do this. Let's pull this out of here. Let's cut this off, and we'll just go about doing it. Just hook it to the wire here, and then we'll play with the switch. So I'm going to give myself just enough that it's the same length and not cutting any extra out. I'll leave myself a little bit of slack in here, but I don't need 6 feet of it, so. Shoot, new razor blade. Cut some of the sheathing off. Use some scissors. All right, expose these wires a little bit more. And strip them down. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. Give me some extra slack there. This one's going to be the bad one. Make sure everything's good. All right. This is the bad switch. Definitely broken. So I'm going to need this red one. Put that one on there, and then we're going to take this one here. And I'm just going to pull this out a little bit and cut it. And slide it back through, just so we have. And then we're just going to temporarily wire this up just to make sure everything's going the correct way. In and in. In is in, out is out. And then we'll deal with it the correct way. So just go ahead and strip this back a little bit, and then we'll button everything up. So I charged them a little over an hour to do this. It's definitely not going to take me an hour. It'll probably take me about 30 minutes. I know it may seem longer in this video, but kind of getting everything situated takes a little bit of time as well. So we'll go with this in here, and we'll go ahead and plug this in. Hopefully we should get something. I think he fried something. What's going on here? Why don't we have the other way? Is there a relay somewhere? here. Let's see what's going on here. For some reason I don't have out, I just have in. I think he freaking jammed this thing up so tight that it's not gonna release. Ugh. Oh my God. The thing is in there tight. I don't know. I don't know about getting this thing to pop loose, because I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna break free. 3-spool is which way? Engage. Oh, it's moving a little. It's got a rock in there. I wonder if that's holding it up. How does one get a rock stuck in there? I'm gonna have to take that front plate off, I bet. I don't know if I can get that rock stuck in there. Definitely not putting my finger in there. That is for sure. Alright, I'll deal with that in a few. I don't know why it's not going backwards. Let's try reversing these two. See what happens. I definitely need it to back off. Oh. Heon? I only got one way. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'll put these back the way they were. What are these two for? All right, so I got the wrench to reverse out, basically just swap the wires. So I don't know what's going on. I think it's the relay, I want to say, or something's wrong with the winch. I'm going to switch the wires back and I'm going to see if it works, but I have a feeling it's more than the switch. Unfortunately, this guy's only had this for a few months, so I don't know exactly what happened. I think he was worried about the switch being broken, but I think there's more than meets the eye to just the switch being broken, because I'm only getting one direction here, so we're gonna go ahead and swap these back just temporarily. Kind of go from there. Let's see what happens now. So yeah, so that basically just swapped the wires. So now when I go out, it says it's going in. So something is not right. Let's try swapping these up here. Unless the switch is not correct. So yeah, so now it's going in. I just don't have an out. I don't understand why there's no out. So that is kind of concerning. This wire up here is definitely different than that wire. Let me see what happens. Let me see if these are hot. I think someone did some work on this, and this is definitely a different issue. Like, yeah, the switch is broke, but so that's hot. That's hot. So if I hit the switch, I wonder if this winch was added on by a customer by itself. So we're gonna go find out what's going on here. I have a feeling this was added on. I just don't know why I'm not getting an out. I'm getting an in, but not an out. This winch is really hot. I really want to get that rock out of there. I think I'm gonna have to take this bottom fair lead off to this roller fair lead to get this rock out of here. I don't know how a rock got stuck in there, but I'm gonna have to take that off. So let's see, it's gonna be bigger than that. That will probably be maybe a 14. Nope. 15. Nope. Let's go with 16. Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off because I need to get this big ass rock out of here if I can. I think that should give me enough room. But yeah, there's this big old rock stuck right in the cable line up here. So I don't know if that caused something to go bad down the road prior, but I mean, this winch goes in when I reverse it, so something's obviously not hooked up right, I do believe. So let's see if I just secure these down. Because if I switch this with this, it goes in. I switch that and this. I hate when it's not an easy fix. Boot. to have one more guy show up to get a bike looked at, but these people, it's like this guy showed up early, which is fine. I mean, better early than late, but it's like, so I got out now. If I switch these wires around, it just doesn't want to go in. Nothing is making it go in unless I switch these two around. So if I switch that, this, see, now I have in, but it's out on the switch. So I'm guessing this relay down here is bad. So now I got to figure out how to access this. It's going to have to take the whole front grille off. And that is what I'm going to have to do. So let's get you guys back here. So basically, this is going to have to come off. So much for a quick, easy fix. Unless the switch needs to be grounded. I could be wrong there. Which I don't think that's the case. I think we have a bad relay solenoid. Because the winch goes in and out. I just don't have it going consistently in. There's always something with these bikes. Always freaking something. I think someone added this winch. My guess is it probably never worked right to begin with. They probably just free spooled it. Or somebody, you never get the whole honest truth to what people have done. So I'm going to take this, just let it, I can disconnect the bulbs here. It'll be easy enough. We'll just set this aside. So here's the relay. So I don't know if this thing's fried or what. What is going on with this? And there's the wire that I'm using. And it's zip tied together, so that kind of is concerning because I don't think it should be zip tied together. So let's see what that's about. Let's try to bypass this part. And we'll just plug it straight into this part. I don't know why we got this extra wire here. Look at the size of these rocks in this thing. This is ridiculous. So I have in. Why is it because one of these is wrong? Something is not right. This is how it was. I just don't get it. I feel like that one should be there and that one should be here. I think they wired it up wrong. You guys can see here. So this one here is going to the back, that's the yellow. This one here is going to the front, but I don't understand why that one's there. Maybe this one should be here and this one should be here. I feel like these two should be switched. That's my strong suspicion, but I need to find out. So, because I don't have any in, I just have out. So, we could try that, I guess, but I don't know. I need to see which one's got power. So, let's figure all that out first. All right, so that one's got power there. That one's got power. I'm getting nothing there. Nothing there. So I need to figure out if that's how that's supposed to be wired up. All right, so after all that bullshit, just looking at this, I tapped on that. So my guess is when this thing jammed in there, solenoid got stuck. So we got in and out now. So I'm gonna have to swap these wires around down there because it's opposite now. So that's fixed. It wasn't too bad. Could have been worse. Definitely kept me on my toes. But just tapping that, it you know, it fixed itself. So, so it looks like this is for this one and this one's for this one. So whoever put these on backwards. So I don't know if somebody messed with it and did that themselves, but this one definitely needs to go up here, and then this one needs to go back here. So let's just make sure that's correct. And we got in and out, or do we need to switch the wires? So out, in. So that is that. It wasn't too bad. It's more of a pain in the ass just trying to figure out how everything went. So on that note, let's get this all back together. And I'll let the guy know this week that he can come get it. How am I going to route this? Yeah, let's leave that one there. And then I noticed this free spool is broken, so that's why I couldn't get it to unlatch. I think when it jammed up in there, it caused it to jam in there. So I'll let him know about that, but there's nothing I can do about that unless he wants to replace the winch, I think. So this one, we're gonna go ahead and run. I think, let me cover this up again. I'll run this down through here. I really hate the way they have this mounted up here. And then I'll run this one down through here. And we'll zip tie that off to something. Was there another? No, there was another washer. Oh, I'm gonna have to take that front one back off and put this other washer on there. Oh, come on. What's going on here? Is it on there? Definitely not on there correctly. What the heck? I think it's just rubbers keeping me from getting on there all the way. Sometimes I really wonder about these covers that go on here, because this thing is hard as a rock. Maybe if it was a little more pliable, it'd be easier to deal with. But I can't even get it to twist up there. Yeah, sometimes it's like the simple, stupidest thing gets your machine running again. Like this thing, like if I didn't tap on that, like just out of curiosity, I probably would have been chasing a problem for a while. I mean, I would have probably ended up having to replace that solenoid there, but so this needs to go this way for sure. All right. So yeah, so I probably would have ended up having to replace that solenoid when in reality, I could have just left it as it is and just tapped on it. So, you know, don't think everything's all cut and dry when you're diagnosing stuff, because it certainly is not. Let's try this. Let's see if this will thread on there. Yeah. Can I get this cover back on there or not? Hook. That thing is so hard. It's like these things have been weathered so much. They don't want to. This one I just need to put a washer on the outside. Oh my gosh. Got this lift to lift this stuff so I don't have to work on the ground, but kind of the point where you really don't want to lift this bike up with this freaking rack because it's so heavy. So just do that. Same thing with the back one. If I can get to it. I'm gonna really invest in like a light, like a magnetic light, because this thing ain't cutting it. Because I can't really take this flashlight and set it down because it doesn't want to stay in the position you put it in. Come on. All right. Just gonna wiggle that on there a little bit better. There's that. And then I think these will be all right down here. I'm just zip tie these together so they're off the radiator and they're not gonna get hot. And then we'll button this thing back up. Zip tie these together. Hopefully they won't. Yeah, that'll stay off the radiator there. Keep it a little bit on the dry side, well, the cooler side, so they're not gonna melt. And then this cover can go back over that. And then we'll go ahead and put that wire back in that one. I really want these a little further away. So let's see. Let's put another one here. All right. So now this, let that hang down again. So this, we'll get that other wire. This one here, we'll just route this one back in there. Oh, I see why it's zip tied, because it's all broken. I think. Is it broken? it's a little dry rotted. See if we can bump this little clip up a little bit so it locks in there better. I don't see that getting pulled out for any reason, so I'm not gonna zip tie it back in there when it doesn't need to be. Overall, it wasn't too bad of a job. It's always chasing down a problem. It takes a little bit of time, but you know, I quoted them like $100, 75 bucks an hour, so a little over an hour. So I don't know how long I've been at it, but it hasn't been that long. So yeah, I'm guessing he went somewhere like a marble, gravel. I don't know. That's like, it's not a normal rock. It's like, I don't know. I don't know where that's from, but it definitely is not. Definitely is not. Definitely is not from just the desert. All right. Go ahead and connect those up. Put some shrink tube on there, I think, if I got any that size. And we'll put some I don't know if I got shrink tube that'll fit over these butt connectors that I got. Where are those? I think they're in the drawer now. I'm constantly moving stuff around to make room. Yeah, they're in here. Those are not, no, there's some in there. Actually, it's not the ones I want. I want, where are the ones? Oh, here they are. Oh, those aren't connectors. Those are, oh, I guess there are some in there, the blue ones. Seem kind of big. I need to order some of those smaller ones, I think. These ones, any smaller? They're the same size, so let's go ahead and use these. That's all I got. All right, so this test light can go away. Bring it in a little closer here. So we're just gonna butt connect these together. So, I mean, I could solder them, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I could solder them, be easy enough. Let's just do that. And I'll put some shrink tube over them. I fire up the soldering gun because that's going to take a while to heat up. Put this up here for now. Where is that soldering gun? There it is. There she is. Definitely need to get a new soldering gun. This thing takes fucking forever to heat up. Get some flux. Alright, so I just need to wire these, solder these together, this together here. Alright, got this thing all wired back up here. So I'm going to wire this or not wire, but connected up here. So you should be good with this. Basically, pretty similar switch to what was up there. But, and I'm gonna fix his wire. He's got going back here. I mean, it's just hanging down over the engine. I don't find that to be too ideal because it's gonna get hot. It could short out, it could melt, start a fire. But I need to see what ATC fluid is or whatever it says, because he's definitely low on brake fluid. And I wonder how that brake fluid is up here. All right, so that is that. I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie that in there as well, because there was a zip tie up here. Let's go ahead and pull that taut. Probably put another one up here too, just to be safe. We'll do one more. The more zip ties, the better, right? So we'll just hook that part to this brake line here, so that way it doesn't get stuck in this parking brake. Go ahead and cut these off. Turn those in a little bit. As we all know, nobody likes to get poked with a zip tie end. All right, so that is all together. I can button this back up, put that piece back under there. And we can connect all this back up. I need to find out what is this? Polaris ADC fluid only. ADC fluid. I'm gonna put some brake fluid in here. And then I'm gonna Google Polaris ADC fluid. ADC, never heard of such a thing. Maybe automatic differential control? I have no idea. There's some brake fluid. Connect this back up. Connect this back up. Now we're just going to run this extra wire down here. ADC oil. Never heard of such a thing. ADC. Right? And so. Wonder if this can go down here somewhere. Kind of pop up through there. Can I get this down there? Yeah. ADC oil. Never heard of such a thing. Leave it to Polaris to come up with all this extra shit. We want you to buy this ADC oil so that way we can charge you more money because you got to buy special oil. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm not really thrilled about that. Right next to the steering shaft. Can I get it down lower? I'm kind of thinking not. Oh, there it is. I'll do that one. Ugh. So we'll go with that. And this thing just looks like bloody hell. So we'll just go with that. And I think this will be fine if we just slide this back down here. I have a feeling like that's supposed to go there. But they freaking zip tied all this other stuff. Yeah, like I have a feeling that's where that's supposed to go, but someone has been in here doing some major wiring. Here is this for the battery tender. Probably should leave that sticking out somewhere so we can get to that. All right, need more zip ties. Where are my zip ties? Kind of like having stuff just tidied up so it's not potentially going to get caught on something. That should be fine down there. I will do one more zip tie onto this harness. All right. I don't know where he had this sticking through, if he had sticking through anywhere. All right, so let's just double check. Make sure everything is good to go. Power steering is so awesome. I definitely do like the feature of having power steering on a quad, but I guess when you got a big ass machine like this, that's what you need, right? All right, so that is done. I'm gonna put this back together. Put these bulbs back in. Set this up on top here. A little far off there. Oh, there's a freaking nut back there. That's stupid. That is stupid. I don't know where he had this freaking. I don't know if he had it poking through the other part or what. But I'm gonna leave this exposed so we can get to this, because I mean, there's no point in having this if you can't get to it, right? So I'll figure out where this is gonna go when I get to that point. So here's a prime example of why I do not like Polaris. This is rubbing against their exhaust. That is definitely a fire hazard. You know, to have that sitting that close to your exhaust, that's not right. I mean, yeah, there's a heat shield on there, but obviously it's not doing enough. I mean, that thing is melted through the plastic. And I noticed on the seat there was some tape on there too. Where's that seat? So yeah, you can see how it was melting through there too. Like, come on, Polaris, what the fuck is that shit? You can see the exhaust is there, but then when you come around to this side, you can see where it's been melting through. You know, I don't know if something got bent or this thing rolled, but I mean, stuff like that, that's just stupid, you know, like, why even bring the body up that close? Why even bring the exhaust up that close? It's just stupid stuff like that that when I work on these bikes, I see stuff like that, and I'm just like, you know, that's a fire hazard. That is truly a fire hazard. You know, if it's melting through the seat like that, that should not be happening that way. So I don't know if it's just the way the exhaust is, but come on, Polaris. Step up your game. All right, so these Polaris machines, whether it be an ATV, a side-by-side, they all have issues with heat, fire, and melting stuff. So if you guys are in the market for a machine from Polaris, do your due diligence and save yourself the agony of having to figure this stuff out after you buy it. I know the side-by-sides many years ago, the RZRs had potential fire hazard issues. There's a lot of stuff online about these machines and the problems people are having. The ATVs seem to be fire / like heat related issues. I know there was some recalls on the Sportsman's about leaking fuel tank pump gaskets, causing gas to seep out. I've read people have had issues where the gas in these machines has been boiling, and you know that could be a potential hazard there. ECMs overheating, catching on fire. And this one here, these Sportsmans are notorious for melting plastics here, I guess. So the newer ones have a lot more heat shields installed in them. So this one just has like the rubber, not the rubber, but the mat, the sticky mat, protecting that plastic there. But it has melted up here, and that is due to this exhaust, like burning a hole right through there. These things do run hot, and you know, Polaris hasn't addressed that ever. So I know there's some newer models that have like more of these plates here, or the sticky tape heat shield. I did see that these Sportsmans, there wasn't a recall, it was like a service bulletin, and they were putting this kind of like sticky heat shield on the bottom of the seat, because the seat has melted as well. So you know, before you guys spend the money on a Polaris, definitely do your research, do your homework, because they have potential issues. I mean, I'm not saying everything doesn't and other brands don't. I'm just saying buyer beware. Do your homework. If you're a diehard Polaris guy, then that's just something you're gonna have to deal with. A lot of guys are saying to ride it for an hour, let it cool down for a half hour. If you're riding a lot in low gear, that's potentially gonna heat the engine up really good. So, you know, I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot, but I definitely wouldn't own a Polaris due to the fact that they do stupid crap when they build these bikes. And then the issues of potentially catching on fire. I mean, I live in the Arizona desert. I certainly don't want to be the responsible one for burning down thousands of acres because my ATV caught on fire because Polaris neglected to address issues. So, like I said, these are my opinions. As far as the fire and overheating stuff go, do your research online. You will see a lot of stuff online. So those are facts, but my opinion is do not buy a Polaris. I will never own a Polaris. I can't stand Polaris. So I've had those two Aces. Those were fine. No issues there. But, you know, I've seen the sport quads. I've seen these utility quads. And, you know, with all the issues that the RZRs had, I definitely wouldn't recommend it. If you can avoid it, choose something else. So anyway, he's going to come get this, and we're going to conclude this video.
Thanks for watching the Quadfather ATV channel. Please like, share, comment, subscribe.